Hello, tubies. Where am I looking? I'm just gonna look at the screen here. So, you're gonna hear the outside world because it's really hot in here. And I was like, it's time to turn off the heat, people. And it's time to use my new tripod. So, we're using my phone to go live because it's got better, I don't know, image or something, right? So, my work situation has figured itself out, right? Emotionally, mentally disconnect. Oh my god, my hair. My hair. There's nobody here. Nobody loves me. Nobody wants anything to do with me. People are just ignoring me. Fabulous, and I'm pretty, and it's a Thursday night, and no one's here. Right? I'm just waiting for people to show up. I'm sorry if this is a boring video for you. I guess randomly is coming around and disliking videos because my videos are getting disliked again, right? Like it's one person, but like whatever. Can I do effects? Is that how Ravenflower? Oh my god. Yes. We're gonna do this as an effect. Hi, how are you? I'm fabulous. Hello, Solitary. Welcome. Okay, I can talk about my topic now because there's one person here. Yes, my hair. Oh, she just left. She just abandoned me. She's like, oh, I saw his hair, and I was like, mm-mm. I'm done with this. My hair is crazy, though. It's very, very long. And I'm like, I can't manage this. Oh, she's still here, but it shows that oh, there we go. I'm dying. I'm very baked. Okay, what is our topic? So let's start off with how do you know if you've been cursed, right? Like I've talked about this in the past. I've talked about being cursed and what it's like to be cursed and how to tell the difference and what to do with that energy. And my hair is just, hi, how are you? Like we're just gonna be crazy. Like I got 80s hair going on here, right? Like maybe I should just kind of grow this out, right? I got 80s hair going on. But anyways, so how do you tell the difference between being cursed and hexed and being self-sabotaging and destroying your own world and essentially cursing yourself? How do you tell the difference between those? Because they kind of seem the same. A lot of people, when they think of cursing and hexing, it kind of seems the same, right? So the same feelings or the same situations that might happen where you think you're cursed could also happen when you're just self-sabotaging yourself or cursing yourself, so to speak, right? So for me, it's kind of the same feeling as well. It's this gut feeling, and you have to trust your gut and listen to your gut, and your gut is always right. And sometimes your gut feeling will go away because certain situations have unfolded in certain ways. And at the end of the day, right? So, at the end of the day, you kind of feel cursed. It's difficult to tell the difference. I'm trying to justify how to tell the difference between being cursed and hexed and just kind of putting yourself in that situation. I think there are obvious signs, especially if you're a witch of caliber, where you're able to do divination, right? So maybe you have a bunch of things that are going really, really wrong in your life and just not working out for you in any way, shape, or form. And you do divination only to find out that you're the one doing it. This is why it's happening. A lot of witches will assume that because they started working with a new spirit or entity, that they're possessed or they're being harassed, and then they think that that's quote unquote curse them, right? So Sometimes it's people screwing around with magic, sometimes it's people actually being cursed, and sometimes it's doing it to yourself. So there's like 3 different ways of telling, like, what is going on here. So I was reading this post about this guy whose life was falling apart. I heard someone say they were cursed, but it could have been the results of bad decisions from their past that caught up with them. Well, there's that too, right? So, I mean, your past is always going to catch up with you, and every action that you do has an equal and opposite reaction. So you can't expect to do something that will harm somebody and not get retribution in some way, shape, or form down the road. It's cause and effect, people. Now, let's talk about possession for a second, because I've been reading a lot of articles and Reddit posts and Tumblr posts and Facebook posts and Instagram posts about people getting involved with entities, and in some cases demons, um, only to find themselves possessed or being harassed by the demon. This is an obvious one where you're doing it to yourself. This is an obvious example of how you are, quote unquote, cursing yourself because you're messing around with things that you don't understand, and it has a negative effect, or it backfires, or you're not even talking to the spirit or entity that you originally thought you were talking to. So what ends up happening is that you get tricked by a trickster spirit that attaches itself to you and starts feeding off of you and messing with you, right? And then you start thinking you're cursed or that you're possessed because you did this thing, and you, chances are that you probably are, and you go running to the internet for help. And it's like, this is a prime example of how a witch could easily curse themselves by messing around with entities and things that they have no idea of what they're doing, right? Another example of how you could tell if you were cursed or hexed, or tell the difference between the two, is the energy vibrations. Okay. So when magic is generally thrown at somebody, there's kind of like a signature, like a vibrational signature, and it's on everything that we do, everything that we touch, everywhere that we go, every piece of energy we leave behind. It's like a fingerprint, and you can kind of tell, like, if the energy doesn't feel like it's yours, if it's not coming from you, if it's coming from an outside source, then its chances are that something is in your outside world is affecting you, and it could be a witch throwing magic at you. It could be somebody throwing just bad juju at you, right? Wishing you were dead, praying that you would just drop off the face of the earth. Where is my water? I have no water. Sadness. So, the other way to tell is, so we've done the energy, and we've not summoned any spirits or worked with any entities that we have no idea what we're doing with, because we're not stupid, right? So we haven't done that. And then how do you tell if you are self-sabotaging? Because you might think, oh, my life right now is going perfectly fine, but all of a sudden this curveball came out of nowhere and everything's just been going downhill, and I couldn't have possibly brought this on myself, right? Like, somebody in the witchy community must have done this to me because it's the witchy community, right? So some people like to deflect from the situation and not realize that they're self-sabotaging. And in those particular cases, you have to take a look at the root cause of the situation, like I talked about in my last video. What is the root cause of what is happening in your life? And how do you get to that root cause? Well, you trace it back to when it started, because the stuff has to start somewhere. It's not just one day out of the blue, a piano is going to fall on you, right? Like, this has to do with some event that set this all off in motion. And then once you find that event, then you can trace it through the people that started the event until you find the main person who started the event. And if that person is a witch who's casting magic at you, right? Like, it's a pissed off coworker who's like leaving dead baby feet under your desk, right? You probably pissed off a witch. But 9 times out of 10, when you trace that event back, you will be like, oh, this is my fault. I brought this on. Now, the chat on my phone. Wait, how do I bring the chat up? Oh, there we go. Sometimes shadow work helps. Exactly. So shadow work is another example of a way to find, and that's essentially what I was talking about with the whole tracing back the event and figuring out what the root cause of the situation is you're doing the shadow work to face the situation head on and figure it out. And figure out, okay, how do I get through this? How do I logically, clearly, rationally get through this? Right? So, like I said before, 9 times out of 10, chances are you are not cursed or hexed or whatever. Chances are you've done it to yourself. Or some event in your life has unfolded in a way that is starting to manifest change that you are being resistant to. If you're resistant to change that's happening in your life, it's not going to go down very well. We witches know that. Right? If the spirits are telling you it's time to go in one direction and you're deciding, no, I'm going to stay here or I'm going to go in this direction, your life is not going to go in a very good direction because you're being resistant to the change. Now, if you're not a witch and you're just a mere muggle or mortal or, I don't know, like what are you? Like a not witch? Like a human? What's a human? Can we eat humans? Can witches eat humans? I'm really craving human now. Anyways. Um, so, what the hell was I saying now? I got off track. I just got off track with the cannibalism and now I completely forgot everything I was saying. Who wants to do a demon summoning ritual with me live? Right, I've seen some of those videos pop up lately. Oh, I was surfing through the tickety-tocketies. Yes, I have the tickety-tocketies, right? You take my first name, you take my last name, you put them together as lowercase, and then you put an @ symbol at it, and you go to the tickety-tocketies, and you find me there, and we summon the demons, and we conjure Lilith, and we have sex with elves or something. But we talk about witchcraft on my tickety-tocketies. But I was scrolling through some of these tickety-tocketies, and there is a lot of just messiness on the tickety-tocketies. Okay? That's what I'm going to call it. If you people come onto TikTok, you will be my tickety-tocketies. Oh, I found Solitary Luna on there. Just beautiful person. But I found other witches as well. And some of these other witches that I have found are not... They're just... They're no. Like, I don't know what they're doing. What the hell is going on? Some of them are very smart and very educated and they know what's happening, right? We're changing our... Oh, I don't like that one. No, that's too much. There we go. Hi, how are you? Right? We're changing things on you. Sometimes... Oh, wait. Did I see the chat? Is that all? There's only 3 people here and I'm crying my soul open. Anyways, so... Yes, the Tickety-Tocketies. I'm on the Tickety-Tocketies, and you can find me on the Tickety-Tocketies, and you should come onto the Tickety-Tocketies, because there's no real witches on the Tickety-Tocketies. It's these people who are like, look at my altar, look how pretty I made things. Or like this guy who was talking about, he supposedly works with demons, and he's like, God made demons to be beautiful so that they tempt man away from him. Are you on drugs that I'm not on, that I should be on, in order for me to understand your fucking statement? Like, I want to smoke the bowl of meth that you're smoking. Right? Like, it's, oh my god. And then you get other people on there that are like, oh, modern magic is like quintessential and it's the definition of life. And she was fighting with people in her comment section on traditional witchcraft versus modern witchcraft and saying that traditional witchcraft, very similar to what the experience of Solitary was having, is outdated and non-existent anymore. And I'm like, oh my god. Like, what is going on? And there are all these young women that are witches. The TikTok witches are fake. I have found a few good ones, though. Thank my blessed stars. I have found a few good ones who actually know what they're talking about. They talk about modern witchcraft and they talk about traditional witchcraft and they show a little bit of their craft and they're very well educated. And I'm like, oh my God. So, investigating these people, they don't have YouTube channels. I can only make 60-second videos, people. Right? Like, I don't want to watch 60-second videos. I want to watch full-length discussions. Speaking of which, Raven Ways apparently did a 24-hour live stream. Who was in that live stream? Well, Miss Tequila was there. So she's not dead. Thank our blessed stars. Right? And lots of other witches were there. And it looks fascinating. And I was like, well, I didn't know you were doing these things. Something finally witchy comes across the channel. And then I found a couple of new witchy channels that just... We're not even going to get into it. One of them is fighting with the, what are they called? What is that? Witch Patrol. Over being called, I don't know, over harassing people or something. I don't know. And then the other one is reading to you from a book. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, you do that. You have your fun. So, well, it's just me and Solitary here now. So it's just us two. So let's talk about our fate versus magic. Can you change your destiny, your fate, using witchcraft? Absolutely not. Right? You can't change what's gonna happen with witchcraft. Or can you? No. Maybe. I don't know. I want to say yes, but I'm having a hard time saying that. Because if something is destined to happen, it's not like you can just stop time and reverse it with a spell and be like, we're going to just not do this. Right? But then again, it also comes down to what your definition of fate is. What do you define as fate? Destiny, our grand plan, the grand cosmo? But for who? For mankind or for yourself? Okay, if we're talking about for ourselves, then why not? People tell us all the time that we are in charge of our own destinies and that we are in charge of our own fates and that we are the ones that are in charge of us and no one else is. And that no one else is pulling the strings and making us murder each other and spreading horrible diseases because we're overpopulated, right? No one is doing these things except us. No one is living their lives except us. So only we can affect our own life. And in a way, we use magic to change our fates or destiny or alter them in some way or get out of sticky situations. I mean, it was fate for you to become a witch, wasn't it? So naturally, it would be fate for you to become a fabulous human being, right? So I think if you're led to the path, if you're led to witchcraft, if it's awoken in you, then you're going to become this person who's able to manipulate your... Wait, how do I only have 10% of my battery remaining? I only have 10% of my battery? Am I not plugged in? Hello? Eh. Oh, we're not plugged in. Give me a minute. Are we plugged in now? Are we plugged in? Yes, we're plugged in now. You now plug in? I'll plug you in. No, that's disgusting. You're nasty. BRB, need a coffee. I love coffee. Bring me a coffee. Bring me some fucking water while you're at it, okay? That's what I need. I need to get vape juice tomorrow. I'm turning into Solitary Luna. I'm running out of vape juice. So can you change your fate with magic? Can you change what's supposed to happen? If you could see into the future and see what's going to happen, your destiny, what lies before you, could you change that? Absolutely. And you would be stupid to think otherwise. Right? Like, you'd literally be stupid to think otherwise. You would be retarded to think that you could not change your own life. And fate and destiny. Because all you have to do is do some magic. Do some witchcraft. Shimmy, shake those boobies and get going down the road to success. Right? We do divination all the time, and we come across instances where we use our craft. My own e-juice, making my own e-juice as soon as the order comes in. Well, you may think that you're making your own e-juice, but in reality, what you're making is deadly nightshade. Just gonna warn you. So, how do we change our fates? Well, here's an example. You're doing the tarot cards because something seems off at work, and it turns out that you're going to get into a large conflict that's going to cause you to lose your job. So you might be thinking about, oh, what could be causing this conflict? Could it be the fact that I've been fighting with my boss for the last 2.5 months because he's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's doing? If that's the case, you need to get out of that company. But if you've been fighting with him for the last 2.5 months and it's coming up in your tarot cards that you're probably going to lose this job, then you could preemptively stop that by doing just a sweetening spell. Sweeten that man to get what you want. Right? Sweeten his insides and outsides to get what you want. Right? So, I absolutely believe that we can use magic to alter our fates and destiny. But again, it depends what you define as fate and destiny. Because we can see that stuff when we read our tarot cards. Or are we seeing our fate and destiny, or are we just seeing what's on the horizon? Who's to know what your individual fates and destinies are? It's only revealed in the last moments of life. So I don't know if you're going to know if you've altered it or changed it in some significant way without first knowing what is your destiny. What is your fate? Coffee, water, and a cola if you want it. Oh my god, I'll take the cola, right? Just pass it through the screen. I can see you sitting at home being like, it's not working. So, we've been talking about how to know if you've been cursed or hexed, and we've been talking about if you can change your fate or destiny with witchcraft. And just to kind of re-summarize, there are some subtle ways to figure out if you've been cursed, hexed, or if you're doing it to yourself, or if you've been possessed. If you've been possessed, call Ghostbusters. But no, if you've been possessed, you've done it to yourself. Now, how do you know if you've been cursed or hexed or if you've done it to yourself? Well, like I said in the last video, trace it back to the root cause, go all the way back, and figure out who it is that's causing the conflict. Chances are it's probably going to be you. Now, if it's an energy that doesn't feel like yours, if it feels strange and malign, tarot cards and divination can also help you figure out what's going on, along with communicating with your spirits and entities that you work with. I keep looking over here and I keep moving this way and the camera's like right here. And I'm like, you know what? We're going to do this my way. Okay? And around changing your fate with magic, absolutely you can change your fate with magic. You can change your destiny. But again, it's true. What is the definition of fate or destiny? Right? So, I also wanted to talk about my TikTok, and I mentioned it earlier, but I just want to mention again. I have a Tickety Talkatees, and I post videos on these Tickety Talkatees, and people follow you on these Tickety Talkatees, and they watch and they like your content, and I'm like, oh, okay. I haven't found many of the witches on Tickety Talkatees to be worth watching, but I've already discussed that, so scroll back. I have been feeling kind of funky in the last few days because my energy levels have been all over the place and my work situation has evolved in such a way where I am very, very clear on what exactly is happening and why it is happening in that particular manner. And I've just decided that mentally and emotionally checking out of my existence at that job is the best thing for me. Doing it for the money. Doing it for the money, right? Doing it for the money. We gotta focus on that. We gotta be happy and secure with ourselves and just focus on the fact that we're doing it for the money. Have you ever, like, mentally checked out of your job? I wonder if Ember Honeyraven has ever mentally checked out of her job before. Just been like, you know what? I am mentally checking out. You know what? We're gonna message her. Do I have her on Messenger? We're just gonna message. We're just gonna message Ember Honeyraven just because I can, right? Like it sounds like it could be fun to just message her out of the blue and ask, "Did you ever get emotionally and mentally burnt? Or no. Did you ever get emotionally and mentally disconnected from your job?" And just did it for the paycheck. There we go, right? So, no, I really want to know. And she will eventually respond to me if she ever sees that message. If she ever sees it, she will respond to me. But it's Ember Honeyraven, so you never know. You never know. Right? You never know. But I want to know, have you ever just been emotionally and mentally just disconnected from your job? What kind of magics can you do around that? Well, the first thing I would do is a prosperity enhancement / enrichment spell along with a protection spell. Because by getting emotionally and mentally disconnected from your job, Tubies, you tend to just not care and not participate as much and just fade away and become invisible. Now, I did do a spell with Miss Mabagown in order to make myself kind of more invisible at work and care less about my job and focus more on just doing what it is that I need to do to attain a paycheck every goddamn 2 weeks for the next 4 years. And that's when I was just like, it's done. And I came to that conclusion today, but only after messaging my boss and being like, oh, I have questions and concerns. Now we have to have a meeting at 9 o'clock tomorrow. But flip that table, little sisters, because you can turn that into a conversation of, hi, how are you? How can I help you? So, but what's really fascinating in my life is the fact that the spirits have been giving me tasks to do. We're getting back into our craft again. We're reawakening our passions and desires to do the craft. And my order from Amazon came, and you're like, oh my god, are you going to do an unboxing? Well, no, because I've already unboxed it. Jesus Christ. I ordered these little glass jars. They're like this tall and they're fat. And I'm going to be doing a special series for the Grimoire, a limited series called Herbs and Oils. And we're gonna do some videos around herbs and oils. Because you guys have told me in the past that you really like when I do videos around herbs and oils. And because I have this tripod for my iPhone, I can record them in 4K and they'll be pretty and gorgeous because you know I like aesthetically pleasing videos. My altar is a mess. But we're gonna go through my herbs and my oils that I have now, like my incense and stuff like that, my candle dressings, and make more and talk about them and talk about various herbs and various oils and how to use them appropriately in your craft. Aren't you guys excited for that? Somebody tell me that you're excited. -2, but I don't feel like cleaning it. Don't clean things. Just keep working. A messy altar is a progressing witch, right? Herbs and oils is very excited. Excellent. I'm glad that you're excited for my series. Because I want to do that and I want to get it out for the summer. So I'm going to definitely start recording that here in the next few days. And I've been so stressed out lately and so exhausted and mentally, emotionally exhausted. Oh, well, what the hell you got going on there, Miss Solitary? Don't tease. Don't tease people with these messy altar comments and tell me you've got a lot going on, little sister. She's teasing me. She knows that I'm invested deeply, vicariously through her craft. Hello, Country Owl. Hello. But yeah, so I'm going to do this series, and it's going to be very fun, and I'm going to post videos on TikTok after I record each one to tease the series. So you should follow me on TikTok to get behind-the-scenes snippets from the new series that I'm going to start recording here in a couple of days. And I'm going to try and get that series out to you guys right away so that you can watch it and enjoy it and feel inspired or something. Maybe not. Maybe you won't feel inspired. I don't know. So I tried to give up the marijuana. I did. I really did. That shit has withdrawal. Oh my god. It's not as bad as a heroin withdrawal. You're like, how do you know what a heroin withdrawal is like? Do you people not watch TV? Let alone documentaries? Like, do you not have a fascination with hard drugs in a documentary and scientific way? Jesus. But it is intense. And I was like, okay, we're not gonna do this. We're just gonna keep a steady supply of marijuana so that I don't turn into somebody who wants to kill somebody 1 minute and wants to cry their eyeballs out the next minute and wants to eat something but has no appetite the minute after that. Marijuana is bad for you. So, Country, we're talking about a new series that we're doing called Herbs and Oils. We're not doing it live because that would be stupid. And I might pick specific types of herbs to talk about while we go through and make incense to educate you on the herbs. More on the magical side, more than the medicinal side, because I don't want to do the research on the medicinal side. That's up to you to figure out if you're allowed to touch the herb, use the herb, or, you know, so on and so forth. I do have a herbal series on YouTube that I should probably add more videos to. Do you have enough charge left? I don't know. I have 12% charge. I'm plugged in though, so it's okay. And the phone is charging. So everything is gonna be fine. Let's change our thing. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? This one. Boom. Boom, bitches. Boom. So, what else can we talk about? Well, I have another order coming from Amazon. That's hair clippers, right? The places are starting to reopen, and in America, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you guys need to convince your very, very stupid president to not reopen. Right? But okay. So up here, places are starting to reopen as well, and one of the places that's reopened is a hair salon. So I may go and treat myself and get my hair sliced. I also need to get it dyed, but I'm thinking of going to a darker color for the summer and letting it grow out over the summertime. Now that we have more people here, we can talk about a couple of other subjects that I wanted to talk about. What happens when you work with demons and you don't know what you're doing? Ooh, sister, we're getting to the meat of this video now. Yes, we are, because I am getting the munchies. So, we are going to make this part quick. You're like, oh my god, I had to sit through half an hour of you being baked out of your tree talking about nothing and rambling about nothing before you got to the meat? Yes. That's what happens when you come to a live show on The Witchy Show. I'm baked out of my tree and we ramble for 40 minutes and then I get to the point. This is why Lunar Wisdom stopped watching me. So, okay. Okay. So, the funniest things have been happening to people who are working with demons when they have no idea what they're doing. I read this article and I want to see if I can find it again. I'm just going to let you know that Ember Honeyraven has not responded to me at all. 1 second, reading a work email. Anyways, we're not dealing with that right now, asshole. It's 11 o'clock at night. Like you're a fucking moron. What was I finding? An article on this guy who worked with demons and just had a horrible, shitty time doing it. And I had this freaking thing. Where is my history? Demons. 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 Is this my search? No. I don't know. I can't find it. But the crux of the article was very simple. His whole life was falling apart around him, and he decided that he needed to call upon Clonic in order to get his help. He had read the Key of Solomon, and he had read about the demons and the different hierarchies of demons, because there are different hierarchies of demons, especially in the Key of Solomon. He had read about the various rituals and incantations and ways in which to conjure said entities. So then, after all of this research, right, he did do his research, or at least it indicates in his post that he did his research. So then what happens is he goes and he puts Clonic's sigil on a piece of paper and he focuses on it with all of his intentions and desires, right? Nothing really seems to be happening for 10 minutes while he's in this trance-like state and doing this. So then he decides to go to bed. Okay. And then he tells us that he starts to feel a tingling sensation in his legs as if somebody is sitting on his legs. And he can hear a tapping sound and faint whispers in the air. And he feels like he's being possessed or haunted. So what's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this situation? This guy did his research, yet he's having these horrible issues. There's a couple of things that could be happening. Clonic is very fun to test people. Very fun to test people. You can tell I'm stoned, right? He's very fun to test people. Now, he loves to test people, is what I meant to say. But apparently, when you're stoned, you turn into an 80-year-old man with dementia and your words get all twisted as you're in your final stages. He loves to test people. And one of his tests is he likes to kind of psych you out and make you think one thing when in reality it's a completely different thing. I wasn't tested by Clonic, thank God. Because when you're dealing with somebody like Clonic, for me it was he came in and he's like, what do you want? And I told him exactly what I had wanted, and I pleaded and I begged and I had prayed as hard as I could to him, all on my knees like a dirty little whore. And he granted me the things that I had desired without testing me, but there have been changes in the things that he has granted me that has made me wonder if it was the right choice, which makes me think that that's part of his testing as well. Sometimes when you do contact demons, you don't get the demon because they're not going to listen to you, or they're going to send one of their spirits who might just want to torment you instead of trying to listen to you. And that could also be a form of a test. Like, how much power do you really think you have? Like, fend this off. Oh, you could fend that off, fend these off. Oh, you could fend that off, fend this off. Oh, you can fend that off, you can hold your own. Okay, I'll work with you. A lot of people who start working with entities, spirits or demons, or any kind of thing that's outside of the physical plane and is more in the, like, on different planes of existence. It's very loud outside. On different planes of existence, so like spirits, elementals, angels, demons, saints, dead people, like ancestors, and so on and so forth, right? Sometimes these types of spirits won't come and they'll send other spirits, or sometimes your message will get interrupted or intercepted by other types of spirits. So in his particular case, he should have gone back to Clonic and demanded that Clonic come forth and demand that Clonic answer him and give him an answer on those particular cases. What I think happened is that he offended Clonic by not giving Clonic an offering, because whenever you work with these types of entities, you want to give them an offering. You are asking them to do something. It's not free. It's not going to be free. Right? Nothing in this world is free. Not even the ride that your friend gave you last week. That's not free. That ride cost gas. That gas cost that person money. That money could have been used to buy bread for their starving children during this horrible time of zombie apocalypse. But instead, you decided that you needed your friend to drive you home in the middle of pandemic, right? So, like, nothing in this world is free, and working with demons, nothing is free. Never going into workings with demons with an overly confident attitude. If you can back it up, they will push your limits and test you. Are you saying that from personal experience, Solitary? I know she works with demons. I know. This woman is introducing demonic entities into her craft, and I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? Everybody on the internet will soon be working with demons. I will have you all converted into working with demons. So it's not enough in the craft to just do the research. If you can't handle what it is that's happening, then they're not going to work with you. And they're not going to take you seriously, and they're just going to torment you. This person was probably weak-minded in some way, shape, or form. So desperate. So out of his mind. Very similar to my situation. However, I would like to think that I was smart enough by going into the conversation with Clonic with the Morrigan. And the Morrigan is a very protective goddess. She's very protective. And she's very forthcoming. And she's very demanding. So that's why I like to think that Clonic didn't want to mess around, is because I didn't just show up alone. I showed up with my entities. You want to come with your spirits, Mr. Demon? Ooh, honey, let's play. Right? Let's play. So I've been doing a new set of rituals, which I might also do a series on and walk you guys through. We are radically and drastically changing my love life. I put some of these clips on Instagram, or not Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, on my Instagram story. If you guys follow my Instagram story, you'll see that I post my TikToks when I upload my TikTokies, my tickety talkaties. Okay? And what was I saying? Oh yes. So I was talking about this candle that I was doing, this reversal candle that I've got working on my altar right now, and this reversal candle is being used to reverse my love life. Right? So we're reversing my love life. And you might be thinking, you're reversing your love life? What? Right? And it's okay if that's what you're thinking and that's how you're reacting in your brain right now. What I'm doing is I'm reversing the luck that I've had in my love life over the last 6 years. So I have this reversal candle dressed with these herbs and with some coconut oil sitting on top of a 6 of swords crossed with the lovers. And that means that right now things are getting really, really bad and really, really tough. And I want it to get better. And I just have to play it out right now. And it's actually working with my work. And so on and so forth. So, and I had asked the Morrigan for help with that. So, it's working for once. Magic is working for me. Reversing as gaining a love life or add in going straight. No, we're gaining a love life, right? So if we do a little bit of shadow work and figure out why my love life is crap, we have to trace it all the way back to my serious, very serious abandonment issues. And from there, we trace that back to my dead mother. You're like, oh. We're going there. We're going there because remember, get to the root cause of what is causing the issue. So I decided, after talking with Solitary, to do this spell where I'm reversing the luck and the situations in my love life so that it plays out better for me. Because my own mother, may she rest in peace, dead as she is, decided to have babies. But each man could not love her. They just left her alone. So we trace it back to the root cause and we reverse that luck that she had, that it may have been passed on to me. And we make it into a new seed that we can grow fresh love out of. We're becoming a love witch. So my first spell with the Morrigan was to reverse my love life in a way where I start to gain a love life. Does that make sense to people? Are you happy? Is that what you want? I still haven't figured a way out how to get Ravenflower. No, Ravenways. It wasn't Ravenways who did the 24-hour live thing. It was Ravenflower. We're talking about Ravenways now. We need to find a way to get her to be the spokesperson of my cult. Okay? I don't know. Maybe we can get her working with demons too, right? Summoning some demons, throwing some demon feces back and forth at each other, right? Teaching each other how demons work. And then I can make her the spokesperson of my cult. Here on YouTube. I think she'd make an amazing spokesperson for my cult. Is there anything that you guys want me to talk about? The Love Witch. Oh no, flowery alerts to come. Yes, lots of flowery alerts to come. We're going to become a love witch. We're transforming our craft from being a money witch into being a love witch. Because if I can make money manifest out of thin air, I can make love manifest out of thin air. Flowery altars to come. Absolutely. 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 Look out for it, right? Red candles, roses, lavender. We're going to be using lots of lavender in our spells. We're going to be using lots of cinnamon and honey and jar magic and sugar and candles. And we're going to do workings of the goddamn yin yang. And you're going to come along with me. What do you want of a partner? I want a man who has a steady job and a career and his own life, but with a good head on his shoulders so that he knows that he can come home at the end of the day and there's a cooked meal and a clean house and a martini or whatever it is that he drinks is waiting. I'm a 1950s housewife, okay? And he just loves me because of who I am, unconditionally. And he's attractive and beautiful. That is what I want. I'm a 1950s stay-at-home mother. And we will have puppies as babies. Lots of puppies. Lots of puppies. And probably some actual children. And a white picket fence. And a couple of SUVs. And we'll be middle class. That is my dream. And I'm gonna manifest this. Okay? I am going to fucking manifest this. Because if I can manifest a job, and if I can manifest money, and if I can manifest protection, and if I can burn somebody into the ground, why can't I manifest love? So we're gonna do it. We're gonna manifest love. It's gonna be fun. I worked with Citri on a spell before, and he wasn't really interested in helping me. I demanded him at the end of the ritual that we were doing. I outright demanded that he heed my petition and he take it into consideration, and he told me not to contact him again. Or dire consequences. Are you open to long distance relationships or meeting men in other countries? No, I'm not. Because that's not the kind of love that I want. I want the physical and emotional and sexual, intimate connection that you get out of a relationship where you have two people together in the same country and house and place. Now, if he lived in the United States and I could marry him and move to the United States because I have a fascination with living in the United States, I don't like the politics or the system or the way the things are done in the United States, but I have a fascination with living in the United States. If that were an opportunity, well, I'd probably marry him in Vegas. And be like, great, I can live in the United States now. Where's my green card? I'll be your 1950s housewife in a suburb in Los Angeles or Oklahoma or something. Oh, I could deal with whatever his religious beliefs are. He could be a Muslim. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care. As long as he respects me and my spiritual beliefs. That's number one. Oh, and number two is he can't be allergic to cats. The men in the city are magically allergic to cats. We're reversing that. We're saying no to that. But that's what I want, right? Must love the cats. Be whatever religion you want and do whatever you want with your body. As long as you stay attractive. Right? You can fall out of love with somebody because you become unphysically attracted to them. Maybe they've just done something to their bodies where it's like, oh God, don't do that. I love cats already. I want cats. I have cats. I need cats. I've got lots of cats. Cats are amazing. So, anyways, we've talked about a lot of things, and I don't think there was any substance in this video tonight, and it's like an hour long, and I want to go to bed now because I'm tired, and I need to smoke a bowl. So I love you, and we're going to be doing 2 new series. We're going to become a love witch. I'm going to call it How to Become a Love Witch. And the other series that I'm going to do is going to be The Craft, a limited series on herbs and oils. Okay? So until next time, if I know how to get out of this, how do I get out of this? Do I hit this X? What happens if I hit this X? Let's find out. Eh, eh. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?